Assalamualaikum. Today we want to talk about our subject property. This is our group members.
The subject property is situated within a housing scheme known as Taman Putra Perdana, Puchong, Selangor, Darul Ehsan. Geographically, it is located about 14 kilometers to the southwest of Puchong town centre. Access to the subject property is via Jalan Puchong onto Jalan Putra Perdana 6A, Jalan Putra Perdana 6/23 and finally turn left onto Jalan Putra Perdana 6/25. The subject property bears a postal address of number 28, Jalan Putra Perdana 6/25, Taman Putra Perdana 47100, Puchong, Selangor, Darul Ehsan.
Next, statutory valuation. Statutory valuation is the process of valuing properties or assets in accordance with the rules and regulations established by laws and or statutes. Next, stamp duty, real property, gains tax, RPGT, and income tax are all regulated by the federal government. Next, this valuation are carried out in compliance with relevant laws and regulations to guarantee.
Stamp duty is a type of tax imposed by the government on various transactions. Usually, it assesses on court records or specific kinds of transactions like share transfer, real estate sale, lease agreements, insurance coverage, and more. Depending on the jurisdiction, the tax can be paid electronically or by buying and applying actual stamp. The statutory law, presently known as the Stamp Act 1949, permits the assessment and collection of stamp duty. Besides, duty ad valorem and permanent duty are the two different sorts of stamp duties. The values of the transaction or the property involved is sometimes used to determine how much stamp duty is due, and rates can fluctuate significantly between various areas or nations. A rate assessment, also known as a property rate assessment, is a procedure used by municipalities or local government bodies to certain property value in order to compute property taxes or rates. A property owner's obligation to pay tax is determined in part by the rate assessment. Property rates are a type of local taxation levied on property owners. In addition, the owner must notify the local government in writing of the empty property within 7 days or receiving letter. If not, the owner will be assessed a revision rate from the day the letter is received. The applicable assessment rate is determined by the estimated annual rental value of the owned property. The benchmark rate in Malaysia is 40% of the property owner's annual rental value. Though the actual rates varies by state, the rental value is also estimated to vary based on the type and specifics of the property charge.
For building finishing, the accommodation and floor finishes of the subject building are ground floor, such as living, dining, bedroom, use broken marble, and dry kitchen, wet kitchen, beds and car wash use ceramic tiles. Next, for the first floor, family area, master bedroom, and 2 bedrooms with a share with use broken marble, and bed or washroom use ceramic tiles.
For title particulars, plot number is PT74115. Title number is HSD 60246. Mukim is Dengkil, District Sepang, State Selangor, Darul Ehsan. Tenure is leasehold interest for 70 years, expiring on 19 October 2093. Category of land use is building. Annual rent is RM49 Provisional land area is 139.35 square meters. Registered owner is Kenshine Corporation SDN BHD. Express condition is bangunan kediaman. Restriction in interest is tanah ini tidak boleh dipindah milik, dipajak atau digadai melainkan setelah mendapat kebenaran pihak berkuasa negeri. Income branches is nil. Other endorsement is private caveat.
So details for our transaction subject property, we have 3 comparison. So for the district, for comparison 1 is Sepang, for comparison 2 Sepang, and comparison 3 Sepang. So for type of land, we have comparison 1 is building, comparison 2 building, and comparison 3 also building. So for category of land of use, comparison 1 and 2 and 3 is using residential. So for address for comparison 1, number 54, Jalan Putra Perdana 6, stroke 23, Taman Putra Perdana. So for comparison 2, number 10, Jalan Putra Perdana 6, stroke 27, Taman Putra Perdana. So comparison 3, number 28, Jalan Putra Perdana 6, stroke 14, Taman Putra Perdana. So for type of property, comparison 1 is a double story terrace house, comparison 2, a double story terrace house, comparison 3, a double story terrace house. So for the condition for 3 comparison is good. For land area for 3 comparison is 1,500 square feet. So for tenure for 3 comparison is leasehold. For transaction for 3 comparison, comparison 1, RM 495,000. So for comparison 2, 495,000. And for comparison 3, 515,000. So for date comparison 1 is 11 August 2022. So for date comparison 2, 30 December 2021. And for comparison 3, 8 January 2021. So for adjustment, we do time adjustment. For comparison 1, about RM 9,900 is 2%. So comparison 2, 9,900, about 2% too. So for comparison 3, 11,000 is about 2%. Type for comparison 1, 2 and 3 is nil, 0%. For land area is better off. For 3 comparison, better off 5%. So for tenure, is nil. For 3 comparison, 0%. So for location, for adjustment is nil, 0%. Okay, for market value for comparison 1 is 529,650. For comparison 2, 529,650. And comparison 3 is 588,500. So our market value is 588,500. Rate assessment for annual value, our market value for subject property is RM 588,500. Multiple by 12 months. Annual value is 7,062,000. For the assessment rate, annual value 7,062,000 multiple by 6%. So for the assessment, total about RM 422,000 and 720. So for our stamp duty is about 588,500 ringgit in Malaysia only. So first amount is 100,000. So for the rate is 1%. So total is 1,000. For the second one, RM 500,000, rate 2%. For the total is 10,000. And for the second amount is 1 million. 3% is about 30,000. So for the rest is 547,500, 4%. For the total is 21,900. So for the amount stamp duty is 62,900.